When it comes to writing assignments, there is no one-size-fits-all. Faculty across the disciplines have different needs, expectations, and beliefs about writing. Also, every class will be a mixture of different skills and backgrounds in terms of writing. It is always up to the instructor to decide what is most important in designing assignments that support student learning. There are, however, a few tips, tricks, and best practices that we at the Writing Campus would like to share to make assigning and grading writing easier for faculty. So what can faculty use when designing assignments to support student learning? What are the learning goals of your course and for the assignment? What would you like students to be able to do by the time they finish their work? We will look at 2 assignments. Let's take a look at our first example. In this assignment, students are asked to analyze a researcher's online profile. What might the faculty member be hoping the student learns from analyzing a researcher's online profile? Perhaps a sense of what sort of things are important to faculty members in a particular discipline. What is appropriate to post as a professional? Perhaps how best to communicate research findings to a non-expert or expert audience. Also, could it lead students to appropriate resources for their own research? How could we revise this assignment to include some of these goals? Assignment: analyze a researcher's online profile. Papers should be 3 pages long, due 10/20. A. Over the course of the week, did the researcher organization attempt to use social media to communicate research findings or ideas in any way? If so, how? What was communicated? To what audience, if you can determine it? B. How would you characterize the majority of the posts that the researcher organization sent? C. If you were going to communicate research via Facebook and Twitter, what might you do differently than this researcher organization to improve circulation or readership for non-expert audiences? This newly revised assignment helps students think about themselves as analysts and researchers by asking guided questions that help them summarize, paraphrase, and engage with the sources that they read. So, if the goal of this assignment is to encourage students to analyze a Twitter profile of a faculty member, they can think more critically about what sorts of information best suits the medium. When an assignment asks students to analyze, what does that mean? Students may have different ideas about what analysis is. They may draw upon what they learned in English 101, or they may think back to analyzing poetry in high school. These modes of analysis probably are not what faculty in advanced writing courses are hoping to see in a final draft. So, what can faculty do in their assignments to elaborate upon and clarify their expectations? Analyze tends to be a catch-all word when it comes to assignments. For some faculty, it can mean answer the questions thoroughly. For others, it can mean explain. Sometimes analyze means close read or make an argument. It can be useful to think about the kind of analysis you really want your students to do. Bloom's taxonomy can help instructors think through what sort of thinking and writing they want their students to do. For this video, we will talk about some specific skills that Bloom discusses and the higher order thinking skills that we generally mean instead of analyze, keeping in mind that this is just one way to think through assignment language. Bloom differentiates higher and lower levels of thinking. Lower order learning includes passive receiving, such as watching a video, memorization, and recall. Higher order skills include application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Bloom provides a variety of words that fall under these categories that are helpful in giving students direction for the task at hand. Summarize. Show that you understand in your own language. Design. Create something new that shows you can apply what has been taught. Analysis. Identify patterns, organize ideas, and recognize trends in the information that you discover. Synthesis. Bring together old concepts to create something new. Predict what might happen in different conditions. Evaluation. Criticize or judge the way that things have been done in the past and provide recommendations about ways to improve. Bloom argued that evaluation required the greatest level of mastery over materials, which is generally why graduate-level research requires such extensive reading in the field in order to enter a research conversation. Let's take a look at the example from before. The questions asked in this assignment directly connect to higher order thinking skills. What was communicated asks students to summarize findings. How would you characterize asks students to identify patterns in posts. And what would you do differently asks students to synthesize and evaluate what has been done in order to create something new. Most faculty are understandably concerned with grading assignments, especially written work. Check out our video coming soon about commenting strategies. In designing assignments, however, it can be useful to foreground expectations that are important to you so students can prioritize. Each faculty member knows what's important in their disciplinary writing. Perhaps it's conventions, or perhaps it's a particular style or tone. If that information is available on an assignment sheet, it can help guide students to understanding the norms of a particular field of study. Let's look at the first unelaborated writing assignment. Assignment: analyze a researcher's online profile. Paper should be 3 pages long, due 10/20. Students may interpret these instructions in a variety of ways. 3-page papers can have a variety of font sizes, spacing, and margin sizes, or be 2 pages and 3 lines. The due date is clear, but students have quite a bit of flexibility in terms of how they fulfill the requirements of the assignment. Let's look at the second half of the other earlier, more fully elaborated writing assignment example. Grading rubric. 1. All directions in the prompt were followed. 2. Writing is clear and well edited using an academic tone. Imagine your audience to be the researcher organization that you are analyzing, and that you are delivering an analysis designed to improve their online presence. 3. At least 750 and no more than 1,000 words. Include a word count. 4. Formatting expectations are listed in the syllabus. This assignment has clearly stated what the instructor values when grading. First, following directions. Second, clear and edited prose that is directed at a particular audience. Third, a limited number of words. And fourth, formatting expectations that are listed in the syllabus. There is very little wiggle room in terms of how long, in what style, how many errors, and what sort of tone are expected. While not all students may fulfill these requirements, they are clearly stated on the assignment as accessible points. Front-loading these strategies into an assignment sheet saves an instructor a great deal of time in terms of explanation and grading. If students spend 5 minutes reading the assignment sheet instead of an instructor giving 20 minutes of explanation, class time can be more usefully spent on other things. Also, research shows that students tend to excel when we ask for higher order thinking skills in assignments, which also is easier for instructors to assess. It can be easier for a student to earn an A than it is for a faculty member to justify a C. We hope that these tips are useful for you as you begin to design assignments for next semester. Please see the included handout that contains a summary of these strategies.